Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started with our top 5 Grand National Championship podiums for all 6 divisions, starting with our youngest superstars in Micro Swift. And to remind you again, everyone gets a little bit of the prize package of $70,000 in cash and prizes. For micro, 5th place, Brody Stoffel. 4th place in Micro Swift, the number 1 plate last year's Grand National Micro Champ, Dutch Westbrook. 3rd place in Micro Swift and a Prisma tire gauge as a part of the prize package to Slate Harrell. Your 2025 Micro Swift Vice Champion and a set of MG tires for Lennox Lockhart. And in a last lap move to get it done, your 2025 Micro Swift Grand National Champion, Liam Francisco. All right, we'll let Liam get up to the top, and the trophy's massive here for this massive event. Let's give it up for your Micro Swift podium. Along with the win and the Grand National Championship, Liam will get a brand new IAME Swift engine courtesy of IAME USA East. And we'll move on to our next class on the lineup, KA 100 Junior. Fifth place today in KA 100 Junior, the number 841, Nathan Dupuis. Fourth place today in KA Junior, Tristan Murphy. Third place in KA Junior and also getting a Prisma tire gauge, Oliver Nybert. Second place today in your KA Junior main event, your vice champion, Max Weiland. Along with P2, a set of MG tires for Max and an engine, along with the Grand National Championship trophy for your KA Junior winner, Lucas Palacio. All right, raise the trophies up, fellas, and give it up for your KA Junior Grand National Championship podium. Next up will be KA 100 Senior, and we start to get deeper into our lineup of classes, all getting a bit of the money. For KA 100 Senior, $500 for 5th place in the 2025 IAME Grand National Championship, and up from there to our overall winner, a sold-out class of 50 drivers strong. P5 today in KA Senior, Caden McQueen. Fourth place today in your K100 Senior main event, and again in the money, $750 for Blake Nash. Third place in your KA100 Senior main event, $1,000 to boot, along with it, Austin Garrison. Your 2025 vice champion in KA 100 Senior, and $1,500 in winnings as well for Zachary Clayman DeMello. And to bring the prize total to a total of $8,000 sweeping your KA prize paying events this weekend, your Grand National champ, Paulie Massimino. And along with the race win and the $4,000 purse, Paulie will also get a KA100 Senior Engine. And of course, the massive IAME Grand National Championship trophy. 50 drivers, and these 4 stood above the rest. Give it up for your K Senior Podium. Actually, we'll have to wait one more. Here's our 5th placeman. Fifth place here, $500 as well for P5 for Caden McQueen. We'll get him his check. Well, let's try that one more time. Now that we got them all, give it up one more time for your K Senior Podium. Next up, group number 4 for the Mini Swift Division IAME USA Grand National Championship main event. 5th place today, Santiago Orioli. Fourth in your Mini Swift Grand National Championship podium, Cade Wolf. Third place today in your Mini Swift Grand National Championship main event on a Prisma tire gauge, Holden Myers. Your 2025 vice champion in Mini Swift, and a set of MG tires to boot for Jaden Francisco. And your 2025 IAME USA East Grand National champion in Mini Swift, Maxwell Macha. Let's give it up here for your Mini Swift top 5, and what a display of sportsmanship for Maxwell and Zane. Next up, back into the money for the entire top 5 of X30 Junior, along with every division on the championship podium. Engines as well, your X30 Junior division. 5th place today, and $500 cash to go along with it, Isaac Melquist. 4th place in your 2025 Grand National Championship for X30 Junior, Travis Pettit. 3rd place today in your X30 Junior main event, and $1,000 cash along with it, John Antonino. What a charge with some of the fastest laps of the race to get to the 2nd spot. Your 2025 vice champion in X30 Junior, Ashton Woon. And only our 2nd driver to double up in IAME USA Grand National Championships in a single weekend in a flawless drive, Lucas Palacio. And as Lucas steps up to collect his 2nd IAME engine, his 2nd IAME Grand National Championship trophy, and a $3,000 check, let's give it up for your X30 Junior Championship podium. And finally, tech only just clearing to get everything going for your X30 Pro Grand National Championship. An engine to the champion, and of course the biggest prizes throughout. $5,000 to the winner, all the way down to $750 for the man in 5th, Paulie Massimino. Fourth and only his 3rd X30 Pro National start. Along with that, of course, in the money for the X30 Pro Grand National Championship, $1,000, James Overbeck. Also making his first IAME Grand National Championship appearance, third place in the main event at $1,250 for Blake Nash. Your 2025 X30 Pro Vice Champion here, and $2,500 as well, Austin Garrison. And to close out the day with a flawless 25-lap drive from the pole, green to checker in $5,000, your champion for 2025, Alessandro DiTullio. And as we'll let Ale hop on up, a big check, a big trophy, an X30 engine awaits him off to the side as well. And we have it, your top 5 from the 2025 IAME Grand National Championship Final X30 Pro. Let's give it up one more time. We'll hear from some of the top drivers here in a few moments. In the meantime, this concludes the podium coverage here. We'll let the rest of the teams come on up, take a quick break, and continue with more from the IAME Grand National Championship.
championships. Alessandro D'Atulio sitting in the middle, your 2025 champion, next to Austin Garrison, your vice champion, and Blake Nash, your third place finisher. First of all, Ale, again, now the emotion has sunk in on your return to Pro X30, your second race. How does it feel getting back to the top step?
Yeah, it feels great. The whole team has worked super hard for this. I've obviously not raced much with them. I only did Newcastle, USBKS, and was it USBKS or SCUSA?
USBKS.
USBKS. And then, yeah, it was basically that. We used that as a warm-up just to take the rust off and be ready for this and then be ready for Supernats. But yeah, to come away with the win and sweeping the weekend, it's great. So I can't thank the team enough.
Austin, over to you now, right? That race was one of the longest ones that we've had. Again, 25 laps for you. You were, talking about your ribs. You were talking about it all. Just talk about that race.
Yeah, the race was definitely long. After he started to go and pull away, and I was pushing as hard as I possibly could for 25 laps, and then not being able to fight or just sitting there burning laps. Basically, just a glorified practice of me being able to chase him and not do anything with it. But obviously, Blake had a lot of pressure on me in the last few laps. So, but besides that, yeah, it was not a super eventful and exciting race, but a little bit beat up from doing double duty because I feel like I'm getting a little bit old. But yeah, I made it.
Well, you turned 27, not 39 for those people at home.
Yeah.
People were a little confused there. But Blake, again, you don't run Pro X30 much. You used to. And this weekend looks like you guys got it figured out. Talk about it.
Yeah, I think altogether it was a pretty strong weekend. Showed up Thursday and we were really fast right out the gate. Didn't really have to touch the go-kart too much. We ended up losing it a little bit throughout the next 2 days on Friday and Saturday. I think the track changed quite a lot. Got really, really greasy. But yeah, we came back and didn't stop working. We found some pace overnight and showed up today with tons of pace, and it ended up working really good in our favor. So,
with the heat of the 25-lap main alley, building off that point of track evolution, how much different was it putting the tires on today than when you went and qualified?
I think it was quite similar, actually, to be honest. I think the track was a little bit greasier. It was slower. But I didn't change a single thing. So just focus on my driving and keeping the tires with me, not over, cooking them or anything. Yeah, the kart was strong all week. Engine was strong. So I just focus on my bits, and yeah, that's it. Whole package was good.
Is it now that you've had a night to sleep on it, what do you make of last night?
Oh. Yeah, it's hard to say. My point of view and what I felt was, and I still stand by it, is I made the move clean. I could have not turned for the corner, messed with him a little bit. I could have brake checked him on the exit. Didn't do any of that. Simply passed him because he did not defend. And then blocked cleanly for the next two corners, and I ended up getting smashed, and smashed quite hard, to be fair. My inside rear wheel came up, and then I got trained by two other guys. So, I guess if that's allowed, and I wish I would have knew that was allowed, because I could have stayed behind him the whole race, the whole last lap, and then do it in the last corner and take the $5,000. But I didn't know it was a no-rule race, so I think I raced quite clean that final. Didn't have any contact with anyone, didn't mess with him when I passed him, and then I didn't get the same respect back, so yeah.
Austin, you had plenty of moments in that race. You could have done the same thing to Gus and gotten away. You didn't.
Yeah, no, I definitely, when I'm driving with these guys, I don't blast anybody out the way for, especially a win. People said I was a little bit, too nice to Gus because he was blocking a lot, for the first half of the race. There was one point in time where he went out wide from blocking, and I got underneath him, and he came down pretty hard when I was, at his rear wheel. But if he knew or not, I'm not really sure. But then he almost spun around then. But even still, I brought a lot of people closer. We had a pretty big gap, and I just don't really push people out to go and pass them or hit somebody out the way. It's not the way I was taught to go and drive. But you just kind of got to figure out a way to get around them as best as you possibly could. And then when the crowd gets all bunched up, and then somebody gets pushed a little bit wide, you can capitalize on getting them on the outside or not. But that never happened. And then after Caleb got underneath him and kind of pushed him out, that was how I got around him.
Blake, I know you wanted to be out there. You had a valiant effort to try and hang on in the second heat race last night to get it. You've got an outside view from these two guys. You unfortunately were watching. Well, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to say from a viewer aspect. It was really fun to watch. From a driver aspect, I definitely don't think it was clean at all. I think it made the show a little bit more entertaining to watch, but to be a part of that, it probably would not have been my favorite thing to be a part of. So
to be fair to the officials, they did talk, I think, probably more to you guys after about the fact that one they treat totally differently. Ale, I know you talked to them. I know they said at the beginning that a half pushback wouldn't count. It was only full pushbacks. And over the years, that race has been a bit more self-policing. She did not like that.
I mean, it's like I told them. I mean, they didn't really want to hear me out or watch anything and other things, but whatever. But if there's no penalties, then why do we have pushbacks? Why are we doing the half pushback thing or whatever I don't even know what they did. I think a half was no penalty or something like that.
Half was no, full was in.
Yeah, but if there's no officiating, then might as well just have a flagman wave the green, wave the checkered, and no pushbacks. And then it's a free-for-all. And then everyone would know it's a free-for-all, and everyone can race the same way, no respect. So I raced everyone in that final with respect, and I didn't get the same back in that moment with Caleb. And I understand there's $5,000 on the line and whatnot, but at the end of the day, it's still a 20-lap final. It's still $5,000 on the line. Today was the same thing, 25-lap final, $5,000 on the line. So why is it different? Just because it's called a shootout and it's at night? I mean, I get the spectacle thing, the viewer thing, but I think there should be some officiating, some limits, because especially being last night and we need to use the same go-karts today, costs the teams a lot of money, the parents a lot of money. And in the end, if there's no limits and people are swerving, punting, doing all sorts of things, it puts us drivers at risk as well. And that's not what you want. Yeah, people are going to laugh at crashing, just like when you watch NASCAR crashes, you're like, oh. But racing is racing, and if not, just call it a demolition derby.
Let's move to a lighter note about today. I mean, this track hasn't been your best off stats.
Why?
It hasn't. It's
Really?
not been as good. You've been better at other places. But you had everybody locked on both layouts. What was so different here for you?
I think the package was just with me. I mean, this week, just like in Newcastle, everything was good. I felt really comfortable. We also had to work, hard. Like, it's not like I just went out there and went on a Sunday cruise. Like, you have a bunch of other guys that are super fast, super talented. They know what they're doing. So you have to be on it 100% of the time. For example, like Heat 1, I missed a little bit in me and a little bit in the setup, and that's what Austin was catching quite a bit. And then I just tweaked some things from there, and yeah, went well.
I'm going to go back to the shootout, but aside from the incident, we're not going to talk about the incident. I want to hear from you guys, right? Either layout or if you will, the structure of it. What would you guys like to see different? It could be anything, right? Just everything aside, layout, structure of the shootout. What would you guys like to see or keep for next year?
Less.
Yeah, I know the track. It's definitely tight, and the sessions are short for the 10 lap shootout. But it's just like how he was saying, you're having to go and bash your way forward when they invert the whole field, or where you start in the back. But maybe something that can evolve with a little bit easier passing zones, because when you start blocking and everything, there's only a couple opportunities to go to the outside, but you're taking a pretty big risk for it. But everybody's bunched up from first to last, So definitely the circuit was really short, and it was really tight, but it's kind of the nature of the track as well, but maybe they can expand it.
Ole?
It's difficult to think right now, like off the top of my head, but I think less drivers would also help, because when you invert the grid and you start P20 and everyone's white lining in a 10-lap heat, what are you supposed to do? Like, it's impossible. Even if you're half a second faster, when everyone's white lining for P20, P19, and you're sitting back there because the grid is inverted and you start P20, then there's not much you can do. But I guess, I don't know. I'm not an event coordinator.
Blake, and anything from you?
I mean, kind of going off of what Austin said, maybe we could have had a track that raced a little bit better. Maybe, didn't cause such a accordion effect with how the racing ended up. Obviously, I was kind of the cause of that, big pile up or the big pile happening in the heat too. Yeah, I think maybe just a little bit more practice time on that layout would have been a bit better too for some of the guys that, like for me, for instance, I've never done this event before, so it was kind of like my first time doing all those different configurations of this track. So I know some of the guys in the past have done some of those different configurations. Maybe they had a little bit of an edge on some of the other drivers. So, but I mean, honestly, all together, I think the shootout was a cool event, other than some of the incidents that were happening in the final. So yeah, I'm kind of going off of what Ollie said too. I'm not an event coordinator, so it's kind of up to them at that point.
What about 4 strokes?
Now we're talking.
Put you on the Reynolds at that point, right?
15 or 20. There we could do 20. Doesn't matter. Free for all. No pushbacks. 4-stroke racing. All the same carts, all the same engines, everything's spec.
We can go back to the mechanic race, right, and just do
for
do that
drivers.
in the rental cars.
That way we don't destroy our material that we're supposed to race the next day.
This is an idea I had real quick here, Xander. The last thing, my idea after we were talking about it last night is it's almost to get into the shootout you have to qualify for it. So if you've won a race in the year, right? We've had I don't know how many winners this year, but if you've won a race and you're eligible to get into the shootout, and then the last 5 spots go to anybody else that is off a promoter pick, whether it's 15, 10. But that's my idea, right? The only way you get into the shootout is by qualifying by winning a race this year. And again, this is towards the end of the regular season. That's the idea I have. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it.
Yeah, that would be that would kind of separate the drivers like us and other drivers. I mean, like you were saying, there's 20 drivers that are out there, and if you want like a professional event going on of loading up with drivers, I'm not discrediting anybody, but there is a separation and talent level of drivers that are out there. But drivers who have won and know what it takes to be up front and know, having patience and all that of going based off of that, there's not going to be a whole lot of drivers because there's only, like 10 different winners or something like that this year, which still is a decent amount. And then you can throw in people who have been in top 5 and are more comfortable of being up there when the pressure's on the line. But probably maybe, differentiate things. But even still, we have people that run up front as well, and they've, crashed people out. So, I don't know, it's kind of tough to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play the devil's advocate, or in this case, the advocate for why the fields are so big. Ali, you were in on a promoter's pick for the Friday night deal. Yeah. You remember you started pretty far. Well, I guess you were pretty decent by the super heat off the second heat, but off the first heat, you were just outside the cut zone. And a lot of those extra picks, we start with 2, and then it's Eric looking for, and the rest of the officiating crew going, all right, this guy looks pretty good, this guy looks pretty good. The field was bigger than last year. So, Austin, you had teammates that got in off promoters' picks and the like. What was their takeaway from running the night? Did they enjoy being a part of it, or would have rather save their stuff and be more exclusive? Because I have to imagine that's the idea. It's like everybody wants to be in it, and you want to make it semi-exclusive, but you don't want to, disinclude anybody. This event, Eric said in IAME East, is like this is a give-back race, right? So what did the customer say?
Yeah, so they, Naomi Garcia, next 30, she got into it, and obviously Frankie was in it as well. Naomi, she, said it was awesome because a driver like that, she was like, I'm running against the best people that are out here in our country, and she had a really great time. She didn't, crash or mess anything up. She was inverted because she had a pill drawn in the back, then got inverted towards the front, and she finished well. She really enjoyed it. I think Frankie got into a crash. I don't know if that was X30 or K. I'm not really sure, but he got into a crash. And obviously, when you get into a crash and get banged up, it's not fun for anybody. But I never got into a crash or anything. It's fun to a certain extent, but like at the same time, you don't want to go in total out of frame, and you're on the borderline every single lap of almost crashing, or you're taking risks that you wouldn't really take anywhere else. And it's just from one driver who's not really experienced. If you go to the outside of them, and next thing you know, you can flip, wad your stuff up, and then you got to go and rebuild everything for the next day. And but besides that, our customers that we had out there, even in KA, wasn't really too extreme on the crash damage, and they had a pretty good time.
Moving along to this being basically the last X30 test run for you guys. I'm sure they'll be testing between now and Vegas. Blake, to you, what do you take away? The speed was good in the middle. It didn't seem maybe amazing in the last 7 or 8 laps, but you feel like you got something from this weekend?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, our package was really fast on Thursday. We lost a little bit in go-karting carburation throughout the week, and I think we found it again today. And these last 2 races in X30 that I've been able to do, the Pro Tour and this one, we've been up front, which has been a nice change of things, looking back at some of the past results I've had in X30. So I think definitely as a team, our package is getting really, really good. For not having the X30 package in California at all, I think we're doing a really good job coming here with little to no testing, and relying on the Ryan Perry Motorsports boys a lot for the power, and our team and our knowledge for the go-kart setup. It's been working really well. So trying to get as much information as I can going into Vegas, and I think we'll have a good shot and we'll be up front for sure.
Austin, Vegas, is that the last we're seeing you too?
Maybe not.
Yeah?
Maybe. But yeah, I'll be out in Vegas for sure to do testing in between. But maybe not. I don't know, I'm old, dude. I'm about to retire. Everything hurts. This double duty kicked my ass this weekend. So we'll see what the future entails. We're gonna go and talk to Mike and everything about doing future stuff for next year, if I'm racing or not.
In Masters?
That's terrible.
Dude, I'm literally only a few years away from running Masters. Like, that's bad.
Masters is 30?
30. Shit. Yeah, and I'm only a few years away from that, and you won't catch me running Masters. There ain't no way. But I feel like after
sees him in Masters 4 years later.
Yeah, literally. The one-off race in Super NAS K Masters, I'm out there grinding. But yeah, not really sure what's going to go on next year. I don't plan on definitely not as racing as much as this year. If I do race at all, it's going to be very, very minimal, and if nothing at all. So definitely trying to go and step back and focus more on coaching drivers instead of racing as much.
And then for Vegas with the package, you needed a little bit today. Are you going to find it?
Yeah, I think we kind of missed a little bit on setup. Definitely for me, the track got a little bit greasy. We were fine in the heat races. We showed pretty good pace, but for the main event, definitely the track wasn't as fast. I was lacking some rear traction getting into the corners, a little bit unstable, so I couldn't roll the speed that I wanted to. But besides that, I think our motor program is pretty strong, but you have to go and have everything to be perfect. You can't have a strong motor and then the go-kart be off a little bit because the motor's not going to compensate for it. You got to make sure that everything's perfect and on rails to go and win against these guys.
Allie, what about you? 2 weekends, and then it's just private testing if you're going to do any. You confident now?
Yeah, no, I don't think we're going to do any private testing. I don't know. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I froze for a second. Yeah, I'm confident with the package we have. I like Vegas. I'm understanding the tire quite well, which is very important. Engine is good, so yeah, I just need to stay on top of my driving. Setup is important, like Austin said. You need the whole package. The engine is good and chassis is not, and that's not how you win a race. You need everything to win a race. Vegas is also sometimes a little bit hectic, so. Yeah, a lot of things can happen there, but yeah, I'm pretty confident.
I think a little bit of luck as well is what you guys will need when we get to Vegas. That being said, though, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your days. I know you guys are busy. Blake, they were joking around, right? You guys are always P1 tearing down the tent, so I saw your guys'
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to catch an Uber back to the hotel. I think they already packed up and headed down the road.
Austin has a lot of work to go.
Every time. We're literally last every
You guys are
single
still,
time.
the go-karts are still up.
They're still working on it. There's mechanics over there that will work on it until 9 p.m. And I'm like, you got off the track 6 hours ago.
There you go. Well, that's the life, right? Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for spending the time. And thank you guys at home as well for joining us. This concludes our coverage of the 2025 IAME Grand National Championship.
Thanks.
Thank you.
This broadcast is the sole property of Kart Chaser Group, LLC. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the images, audio, or accounts of this event, in whole or in part, without the expressed written consent of Kart Chaser Group, LLC is strictly prohibited. Thanks for watching.